Hi, welcome to the NAPE YouTube site. Today I'm going to look at the new reading framework of July 2023. Yes, I'm going to look at the changes, how they could affect your teaching, and indeed a comment about whether I think that the guidance is useful. As we go through the framework, I will be referring to particular page numbers. Therefore, it might be useful if you downloaded the document itself. You'll find the link in the description below. If you search the internet, you will find several different perspectives of the Reading Framework 2023. I have referred to Schools Week, to the Twinkl website, and also the Centre for Literacy in Primary Education, which has a lot of resources in the respect of teaching literacy. So I do urge you to look at the description below and click on the links. I do hope you find them useful. At the bottom of each of the pages as I go through it, and the quotes that I come across, I will put a page number referring to that section of the framework. I hope you find that useful. So this new guidance has been expanded to cover Key Stage 2 and 3, the guidance for those older children who need specific reading support interventions. As a result of this expansion, there are now 13 sections in this guidance. In fact, section 13 is quite useful because it deals with children in transitioning between Key Stage 2 and Key Stage 3, particularly those who require additional support. This expanded guidance, in fact, may be DfE's reaction to the dropping SATs performance post-COVID. It's certainly not a surprise to teachers who've had to teach remotely over shutdown, with children working at home with little peer interaction. However, this drop in standards still continues, with Key Stage 2 SATs results revealing that reading attainment levels have dropped from 75% of children meeting the expected standard in 2022 down to 73% in 2023. Now, the first 5 sections may well be familiar to you because they stem from the 2021 Reading Framework. In fact, Section 4 used to be called Children at Risk of Reading Failure. This has now changed and moved to Section 5, which is now called Pupils Who Need the Most Support. That is because the subsection of Fluency, which was in Section 3, has been expanded to its own section, Section 4, which is interesting and needs careful study. The new Section 4 on Fluency provides an in-depth examination what it actually means in terms of speed and accuracy of reading. Therefore, in this section on fluency, there is an examination of fluency progression, improved decoding of unfamiliar words using phonetic and look and say strategies, which then leads on to recommendation of using group reading to improve fluency. Right at the end, there's a discussion about building up that fluency over time. The retitled Section 5, Pupils Who Need the Most Support, has a series of subheadings and sub-subheadings as listed. What is interesting is this section also includes case studies of fictitious pupils, which may be of help to you. And it's the type of section where you can dip in and out of whatever you're trying to find guidance or support on. Right at the end, that final section, a note on the specific learning difficulties, does discuss dyslexia. The emphasis of building a team of expert teachers, which was found in this section, is now referred to in Section 12, which is called Leadership and Management. Post Key Stage 1, Section 6 concentrates on skilled readers, in particular upon a fictitious boy called Jamal, in what a skilled reader can do and what is called a reading mindset, as well as a reading future. The new Section 7 concentrates on choosing and organising books. Now, the guidance here highlights how schools and teachers should choose the books they share with children, recommending that schools ask the following questions when selecting books. I am pleased to see that in Section 6 there is an encouragement for reading a wide variety of reading material. So this emphasises the advantage of cross-curricular reading, whatever the subject and whatever the interest. In fact, there is a phrase adopted called high-low books. Section 8 develops the notion of developing a reading for pleasure culture. And of course this harks back to the first couple of sections relating to motivating developing readers. Book club is mentioned, as well as the role played by the teacher and peer influences. Class reading time is seen as a valuable part of school organisation, as is reading aloud to pupils. A stern word against the use of extrinsic motivators such as rewards or the aspiration to move onto a new colour or number level is discussed. Again, Section 9 encourages schools to think seriously on the reading activity of reading across the curriculum. This is interesting because it has already been mentioned. This section includes the element of oracy, text selection and pupil reading preparation. Section 10 is entitled Teaching Reading in the English Lesson. This deals with a more formal, as it says, explicit instruction and conscious effort, therefore formal teaching, perhaps more than the learner had experienced before, stressing the importance of a wide range of literature and non-fiction. The purposes of reading in English lessons stresses that if pupils are going to become confident readers and therefore construct coherent mental models, they do need a lot of different types of reading material. As it says on page 108, this allows pupils to engage with a wide range of human experience and why characters make the choices they make and why they feel what they feel. The theme continues with staying in the story, that is, pupils getting involved in the story, reading in English lessons, choosing text for reading lessons, the use of full texts, and then discussing the elements of reading in English lessons, where the teacher's reading aloud, the pupils reading, the teacher's modelling explanations which go with that, and the questioning which follows. Short-term teaching of comprehension strategies is found on page 116, and this draws on pupils, as it says, linguistic knowledge in terms of vocabulary and grammar. And then right at the end of this section, it discusses the preparation for Key Stage 2 reading assessment. Logically, this then leads to section 11, which provides a summary of the various national assessments which NAPE is not in favour of, but the government are determined to use, such as the controversial phonics screening check. Section 12 is an area of management that head teachers and leaders need to take note from seriously. And of course this includes the role and attitude that leaders must adopt towards literacy. It also covers curriculum design, efficient use of reading interventions, which includes implementing a programme of systematic synthetic phonics in schools. NAPE, however, believes that a wide range of teaching reading strategies is much more effective in addressing the different ways that children learn. In this penultimate section, there are subsections on building a team of expert teachers. There is no doubt in my mind that in the future this will be a useful basis for job descriptions for literacy leaders and coordinators. The final section, section 13, now turns to Key Stage 3, which I've already said has a useful subsection on transition between Key Stage 2 and 3, that is, those children who require additional support. The Appendixes does contain a wealth of useful monitoring and guidance material. Admittedly, Appendices 5 to 8 is really about phonics. For those who are researching, studying or writing about literacy, particularly the teaching of reading, I do urge you to look at Appendix 13, where there is a large amount of references for you to study, and usefully they're broken up into sections of comprehension, early reading and phonics, fluency and guidance reports, language development, reading for pleasure, transition and pupils with SEND. So please have a look at that if you are researching this area of the curriculum. Now, this has been a whistle-stop tour of this 2023 literacy framework. I hope it's been useful, and do apologise if I've missed out anything. Thank you.